Follow me. We shall crush them beneath us.
Before we begin, I wanted to ask you guys one question. If any of you are anime fans, tell me something. Which do you prefer, Japanese or English dub? And second question, in the English dub, were there any offensive jokes or translation that is similar to the Japanese dub? Let me know in the comments. Now, we're going to react to this video from Hirohei. Now, I'm gonna link a few of his videos down in the description so you guys can get a full context of what's happening. Basically, TLDR, voice actors or English voice actors are being terrified. They're going to hiding because, of course, they are English voice actor. They hate the Japanese, or perhaps, you know, what do I show you?
The situation surrounding this Dandadan edit, as well as the voice actor AJ Beckles, the English voice actor for Okarun in Dandadan, is actually continuing to proliferate. Things are still getting even crazier. If you haven't seen my prior videos on this topic, please consider watching them for additional context. Otherwise, you're definitely going to be out of the loop with everything that's happened. Another important thing to note regarding these sort of edits is that tensions have been building for literal years. I saw some people thinking that this was like the first time this sort of situation has occurred, and that's absolutely not the case, as what we're seeing happen now is really the culmination of Asian artists being sick of double standards and sick of how they've been getting harassed for literal years by the same groups of people that have these double standards, which is also something that I've been covering routinely on this channel for years. So many of you are probably very familiar with this stuff. But just to very quickly give a few previous examples, there was a situation where an Asian artist drew Nessa, and Nessa was depicted lighter than she's usually depicted, to which this artist received tremendous harassment. Another time, there was an artist who drew Kaya from Genshin Impact, and similarly, this artist was accused of lightening Kaya, to which this artist received also tremendous harassment. But on top of that, a bunch of people on Twitter ripping this person's art and editing Kaya to be darker than this artist depicted them as. Eventually, that artist deleted their entire account. There was another situation where an artist drew Kaya from Genshin Impact as well as D-Luke and some of the female characters. Maybe that's like Jean and Lumine or something. And as you can see, the art is literally in black and white. But that didn't stop these weirdo Twitter police, these terminally online freaks, from harassing this artist, saying that they didn't draw Kaya dark enough, despite once again the art literally being in black and white. And they insulted this artist and took the art, editing it to make Kaya black. For some reason, they also made D-Luke black as well, seemingly just to mess with and harass the artist. The artist even asking them to stop, to which they doubled down. And ultimately, the artist decided to delete their entire account. As you can see from one of the final tweets that artist made, they were talking about how these people were causing them tremendous amounts of stress, and all they wanted to do was post the art that they made for people and themselves to enjoy. There's actually even more to that situation without jumping down the entire rabbit hole, but one of the main people who harassed that artist would go on throughout the years to harass numerous other artists, also make a bunch of alt accounts where they would harass people and continually play victim, and doing this really weird thing where they would constantly change their age. Sometimes they would say they're like 16, then they'd say they're 13, things like that. And a lot of people would defend this person, saying like, oh, they're just making edits, it's not a big deal. But eventually they became so notorious for all of this stuff, including one of the final situations being when they harassed a Lumine artist and tried to get her to take her life, that nobody was defending this person anymore. And they had been completely exposed by various people on Twitter, including myself in a video that I made covering the situation, and the harasser getting a taste of their own medicine and going on to delete every single one of their accounts. I'll give you one more final example here as something that's a little bit different from the sort of things that we've covered so far, and then we'll move on to the current news. So in this final,
You see, when it comes to this, it's just art. Now I know why Japanese, they have a hard time even to publish their anime in the West. Now we know why they are using AI for translation. And that upsets every translation or translation company, aka localizer, in the West, including Crunchyroll. If any anime creators are looking at this from Japan, I don't know if you're gonna see this video, but please don't use localizers, okay? Take a look what's happening right now. What they're doing with these anime translations and art, they're ruining it. I heard from Mugen Lord, which I'm gonna also link one of his video in the description as well. The UN tried to censor Japanese anime. I mean, what the? It's just entertainment. Why would the UN want to get involved? Well, they have bigger things to do. I don't know, man. So we're gonna watch a bit, and then we'll get to the meat and potato. What we should do.
so in this final example, there was an Asian artist who drew ship art of Genshin Impact characters, to which they got harassed for simply drawing straight ship art. The people harassing them all offended that this artist was not drawing Yuri. To be quite frank, all this stuff is so petty and stupid that even just explaining it is making me like in disbelief, even though I've talked about this stuff before. It's just all so weird, man. I seriously don't know what's wrong with these Twitter police types of people. And keep in mind, those are only a few examples of videos I've made covering this sort of thing for years. There's probably well over a dozen videos I've got on topics like this. And so after years of this stuff going on, people are sick of artists getting harassed for drawing a character a bit lighter, etc., and the double standards that Twitter police have when they're darkening characters. This once again now taking us to the recent situation with the Dandanon art, and how many people in Japan were calling this a racist depiction, to which the English voice actor for Okarun changed his profile pic to that depiction of Okarun with a darkened skin, but it being a very momentary thing, I believe lasting less than 24 hours, as many people in Japan began to call for this person to lose their job, and other people dug up racist tweets that this voice actor had made, once again pointing out double standards. The Japanese tweet demanding for AJ to lose his job now has over 127,000 likes on Twitter and over 62 million views on Twitter. For comparison, just 2 days ago when I talked about that situation, that tweet had around 17,000 likes. In other words, the situation, as mentioned previously, is continuing to proliferate, and AJ has also taken his next action as well, that being deleting his entire Twitter account.
I'll leave the full video link in the description, which including many other videos that he has. That is a wokies, okay? Because I saw what appears to be a pronouns, he/him. Seriously, you wokies, how far are you willing to go? Look, you lost the election, and yet you still triple down. You want to go after anime, you want to go after the movies. And now, if you guys don't know, the voice actress for Intergalactic The Heretic Prophet wants to promote transgender and non-binary entertainment, mostly in TV shows, movies, or TV shows and video games, which I just found out. First and foremost, where did these people find these kinds of cast, okay? Do they even do background research? Which, for me, I sympathize for the Japanese, because sometimes when we see things, because remember, they're getting that from localizers. So sometimes even localizers doesn't tell them. So in my opinion, to the Japanese manga creators and anime developers, anything, please, if you have to do translation or pick a voice or anything, just use AI for translation, okay? Because AI is much better than using localizers. Localizers is gone, okay? They will ruin your product before it can be shipped to the West. It's simple as that.
You were most impressive. Surely your military skills will help guide us on the path to victory. I look forward to your continued efforts.
Leave a like and subscribe if you want gaming news, reviews, or future prediction, or even just gaming and meme. You can visit my first and third channel up here or link in the description.